welcome to The Hearing. I'm John.
And from Chicago's North Side, I am Scotto.
And before we get to this week's album, just a few things to mention. Last time I said that Meg Mash, formerly of Unpeople, was releasing some new music. Her first single is out now, Force Quit, under the name Project Meg. It's from the EP Absent From It All, out on March 6th. Very, very different from what she did with Unpeople.
You would not suspect that that was somebody from
Uh,
Unpeople. That is so different.
Again, she had nothing to do with the writing of the Unpeople
Right.
EP. She came in when they were arranging it.
It's it's gonna take me a bit to get my head wrapped around that. I mean,
Uh,
it's some great synth pop,
oh,
which
yeah.
was the last thing I was expecting
Mhm.
when I hit play.
She's credited with bass and keys in a previous band. She played guitar in a band before then. I suspect she probably played everything on the EP except for drums. There's a drummer in the video, might have been the one who played on the album or EP.
Okay.
But I'll be curious to find out when it comes out if she played everything else. But it is straight up synth pop. The lyrics are about, or seem to be about, her initial reaction to her diagnosis with long COVID, which is why she had to leave Unpeople in 2024.
Damn.
If you read through them, it's really. I got very choked up. One of the lines is, "I watched my dreams die."
Wow.
But yeah, it's a great song. And it's that Cure thing with these really dark lyrics with this
Yeah.
upbeat poppy music, which I've always liked that combination.
Oh, of course. It's like a Joy Division.
Mm-hmm. Also, Yannicka has a new single out, Trouble Follows, from their upcoming album Until You're Satisfied, out on March 13th. I just love the groove on this song.
This one blew me away. I
Yeah.
mean, voice is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one I'll definitely be listening to again.
In one of their shorts, it's described as if Reservoir Dogs was a song,
Okay.
which definitely fits it. Yeah, just love the groove. I think it's the fourth single from the upcoming album. I'll say three of the four I really like. I'm looking forward to the album. Also, I have a new single coming out 2 days from now as we're recording. Actually, a day from now. It's less than slightly under 24 hours from now as we're recording.
It's like
Um,
what the hell time is it again? What
yeah.
day are we on?
Um,
I don't know.
Called Falling Faster. Another fast one. It's about therapy, which is fun to write about. Because I write a lot of stuff about what I've learned in therapy. This is just about the process of therapy. Um, the vocal was a difficult one on this one because it is at the bottom of my register.
It did seem like it was definitely pushing you, you
I
know?
scraped the bottom of my register on this one.
Yeah.
It took a lot of work to get this one done. It wasn't gonna be the first single of the year. It was gonna be the second. I have an instrumental called "And They're Off." It was gonna be the first one because of the title. Um, but it's kind of challenging, so I'm still practicing it. I have enough instrumentals for an album. I might gradually record them and put out an instrumental album because they just feel weird as singles.
And I thought you were doing the Peter Gabriel thing, which he's doing again this year, by the way, of doing a track a month.
Well, I mean, I kind of do that. I usually aim for 3 weeks. Sometimes it
And
ends up being 5 weeks, depending on how things go.
and at the end of the year, the album is now done.
Well, I've thought about that because that's basically what Reba from Fireside Shadow did,
Hmm.
except for like four songs, actually three songs on the main album that we reviewed, and one of the bonus tracks. Uh, they were all released as singles, and then she just put them all together with a few more songs and put it out as an album. Um, I've thought about that. I mean, I have. Last year I put out the album that wasn't because it was going to be an album
Right.
when I eventually got them all released. And I have, my extended best of playlist, the Concise John H. Maloney, which is like my favorites of all of my songs. It's kind of like I use it as kind of an introduction to my work. Um, I've thought about the album thing, the compilation album thing, but I feel like people can just put playlists together of their favorite stuff if they want an album of my stuff.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing about digital these days is well, I mean, you could have done this back in the day, but like with mixtapes, but playlists are kind of like modern mixtapes. You can just put
Oh,
together the
definitely.
songs you want. So, if you want to put an album together of my stuff, go right ahead. Let me know. Send me a link. I'll check it out. Um, anyway, On to this week's album, which is from 1992, Strange and Wonderful by Whirling Dervishes. Another band I always want to put the in front of.
Yeah, yeah, I kind of wanted to too. In fact, Spotify, I think, has two different listings for
They
them.
do. On the album cover, it's just Whirling Dervishes. So that's what I'm going with. Speaking of the album cover, it could not be more Jersey.
Right.
An exterior shot of a diner at night with a car out front of it.
I think there originally was the name was oh, I'm trying to think. It was
It was longer. It was a name and his Whirling
and the
Dervishes.
Whirling
Yeah, and they
Dervishes.
just shortened it down to Whirling Dervishes.
Yeah.
Whirling Dervishes were an American rock band formed in Westfield, New Jersey in 1981 when they were all in high school. That lineup stayed together up until last year. I mean, they kind of broke up in 95 because they
Yeah.
didn't break through. But they got together every year for like holiday shows because their cover of uh, they're best known for their cover of You're Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Uh, that was such a hit that they kind of did holiday shows every year up until last year when one of the guitarists passed away. Um, Strange and Wonderful is their debut and only album, unfortunately. Well, they have a new one out now, but it's like all unreleased stuff that they
Oh
just
wow.
decided to put out. It's on Spotify.
And I think the Grinch EP was Wish It
Yeah,
Would
Wish It
Snow.
Would Snow was a bunch of like holiday and like winter
Yeah.
songs. And they have a few other EPs. Strange and Wonderful was released in April 1992 on WM Records, produced by Alan Dashes and Rolling Dervishes, and features Don Dazzo on lead and background vocals, Bob Audrey on guitar and background vocals, Don Powell on guitar and background vocals, Billy Siegel on keyboards and background vocals, Jerry Here on bass, and John Bryan on drums and percussion. Reminder, I don't edit any songs into or reviews for copy reasons, but on our blog at johnscotto.wordpress.com, you'll find links to Strange and Wonderful on Spotify and YouTube so you can follow along if you'd like. Track 1, To Define You. I like the off-kilter timing of that in that beginning. Nice soft vocal in verse 1. It's got this nice dynamic build in the vocal. Love the kick sound in the verse. Nice harmonies in the second and third choruses. Nice dramatic guitar solo. I like the harmonized parts, and I like how the vocals fade in the outro.
Yeah, it might have been a bit repetitive for me, but I
Mm.
mean, I love how where there should be a big guitar solo, it actually morphs into that keyboard crescendo in the
Yeah, yeah,
end. It's definitely a better pop song than, well, I think we should talk about
yeah. I
the,
was just going to bring it up. The original opening track on the release back in 1992 is a song called Madison Avenue. I couldn't find any proof, but I do distinctly remember the band at the time saying that they didn't want it on the album, but the record company pushed for it because they thought it would be a big single.
and it's so weird because I mean, if you told me there's a song on this album
Mm-hmm.
that it was all the record companies
Yeah, I
doing to
think
get them,
it would be the same one we'd both pick, the ballad.
I would not have picked Madison Avenue.
Right.
Now, there's a thing that runs through a lot of this album, and I think it's why it really didn't catch,
Uh-huh.
and that it's very focused on the sound of the 1980s
In a lot of ways, yeah.
and but different aspects.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't just take one, and Madison Avenue was no exception.
Hmm.
But what made it different from the rest of the album was that it pretty much was in the air tonight.
Yeah, I definitely can see that.
It was that
Yeah.
Daryl Sturmer guitar
Hmm.
stabs.
Yeah.
Only instead of the big gate crashing, it was just they would blare some guitar
Yeah.
solos throughout.
Uh-huh.
So it didn't have the same feel of the
Right.
rubber band pull that was in the air tonight with the
Right.
big climax at the end. Right. They kind of peppered it throughout, which I
Right.
mean didn't work as well.
Mhm. The way I usually describe their sound is they are at the exact midpoint between alt rock and goth.
Right. And but that was the thing in the for Madison Avenue, it, there's nothing commercial about it. In fact,
Uh-huh.
it's literally
Well,
an
it's right
anti-commercial,
lyrically, yes, but I just remember them saying they didn't want it on the album. They were pushed to put it on, and they
right?
didn't choose to put it on. They cut it from this release. The album was digitally released by the band in 24 in
It's a
2024.
very, I mean, it's got some great harmonies. I love this desolate mood that it
Mhm.
has,
Yeah,
but desolate mood doesn't really translate into a single.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know why the record
What
company
the
thought that,
fuck were they
or
thinking?
why they were pushed to put it on the album. But yeah, it's not on this version. Um,
Like it would needed to have been in like a movie or something, you
yeah.
know?
Hmm.
They needed to like get it in on a soundtrack, not necessarily this album.
Yeah. On to track two, the one that was the hit, so to speak. The title track, Strange and Wonderful. Love the riff on this one, love the groove. I adore Don Dazzo's voice. The way I've described it to you, well, the way I described it was with the wrong song, but and I'm glad you corrected me on that because I used this reference before, but I corrected the song. He's got the Old Man River voice, this big, deep, almost bass, which is unusual for a lead vocalist in a rock band.
Yeah, he's doing well, I mean here it's very Lounge Lizard, kind of thing.
He's
I
got those
mean,
influences too, yeah.
and this they kind of get close to like a bit of a grunge sound
Hmm.
to contrast with the Lounge Lizard
Yeah,
voice.
I love the vocal melody. I like the high synths in the pre-chorus.
The keys kill this for me though, because all I hear is Loverboy
Okay,
working for
yeah,
the weekend.
I get that. Yeah,
I would have assumed this was like the record company forcing them to do this.
and like I said, this was the hit, so to speak. It got MTV
Yeah.
airplay, which
Did
for
it?
a band on a very small label, yeah, it made it on MTV onto MTV. There is a video, and
Like
it
I remember this, of course, because we played
mm,
it on
right,
WOCC all
right,
the time, and of course the local alt station
yeah,
1063.
WHCG.
Yeah.
Um, Also love those staggered lead and harmonies in the second pre-chorus. They kind of leapfrog each other. Love how sparse the third verse is. Just want to finish through my notes on the song. Yeah, they played it a lot. I think this might have been the only song I knew, but I loved it. And of course, Drench, which I have adored since I first played it at WOCC.
I think Madison Avenue might have been the first thing I heard from them. I don't know.
I may have heard that one, but I'm not sure because I don't know if we had this album. We had to have had this album at the
I
station.
don't think we had the album because I don't
Okay.
remember any other songs other
Okay, maybe
than
we just had this a
Strange and
couple of
Wonderful
singles.
and Madison Avenue. This was probably the first one I heard, and I think Madison Avenue was a bit of a shock. Like,
Uh-huh.
wait, what? Why would this downer like dirge thing
Uh-huh.
be? Why would they
But
be doing this?
I just took a shot in the dark and bought the album used in 2019 on Amazon.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, I've had it since. Loved it. Loved it at the time. Hadn't really listened to it in recent years. Found out that they had put it on streaming last year or late last year. Loved it. On to track three, The Deadliest Pauses. This is my pick for favorite. Love the moody atmosphere on this one. Great bass tone, nice groove, like all those chimey guitars. This one is very goth.
Right, that's who I wanted to say. Peter Murphy
Okay,
is like the
yes,
vocalist I would compare
yes.
him to most.
Great vocal melody, great harmonies in the verse. I like how that chorus kind of ends off time, and I've counted it. They kind of cut a beat or two just to throw you off at the end of the chorus, and there's this nice build in the last chorus.
They're pretty close to Faith No More, I would say. I mean,
Yeah, I
but
can
it's
hear a
more,
little bit of that too.
but it is more like that late 80s, which I guess Faith No More was really a
Mhm.
part of, but but
Very different vocalist.
more like
Well,
Bauhaus, although
yeah, oh yeah.
there were some times where Patton would sing like this, where he would get put on his lounge lizard too.
But the Peter Murphy thing, particularly for this song, is very apt, and
Yeah.
Peter Murphy is the king of goth, so obviously that comparison works. Um, Track four, Norman. I would have picked this for favorite, but it's too short. Um,
Yeah, same here.
this is the one I referenced when we reviewed Christmas Horror Story in the last
Okay.
episode. Um, the guy who was supposed to be reporting remotely for the radio station was Norman, And I said, Norman did not socialize with zest. Um, it sounds like there's like a telephone effect on the song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is like they just somebody they did it through the phone.
And I'm guessing this is my headcanon. That it's someone who was like their handler in some city they were touring in, who just like showed him around, showed him a good time. They wrote a song for this person, played it on their answering machine, got the recording, and put it on the album. Because it's just vocal, one guitar, I think maybe two guitars here and there. I think I hear a keyboard at one point, no drums, no bass.
And it would be why it's under a minute.
It's just
Because you
unhinged.
leave so much time on an answer machine.
Uh, love the vocal melody. Love when he yells, Norman! It's just thank you for showing us a good time.
Yeah.
Track 5, Death of the Party. Love how those opening guitars are panned, how they kind of split the riff, like the synth horns in the intro. This one does lean 80s, but it kind of takes the piss out of that 80s horn section thing.
I don't know. I
It
don't know if
kind of
they, I
mocks it a
mean,
little bit.
yeah.
To me, a great groove. Really like the vocal melody. I like the double timed chorus. I like those piano stabs in the chorus. Then a brief little bit of slap bass in the second verse.
They did not need to give as much credit to Iron Butterfly as they did,
Well, yeah,
like when
that's a
they
little
came
weird.
back.
It's straight
They
up references. Well, we'll get to that. There's a kind of a reprise of this song that straight up references Butterfly.
they so could have taken this and worked it into a single though, you
Uh huh.
know? I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
this could have been the single from this album if
Um.
they, a little longer.
Yeah. I had said the ballad earlier, but that would have been a second single.
Yeah.
Um. Track 6, Cop, close to favorite.
Yeah, same. Same.
Good groove. Love those eerie synths in the intro. Love the effect on the one lead and then that creepy octave down on the right where he just kind of
Man,
speaks the same lyrics.
he does go so menacing on
Oh
this.
yeah, nice short guitar solo after the first verse. It's really relevant right now. There's
Yeah.
a midsection where he just yells "power, power." It's obviously about cops.
Right.
Great guitar tones in that part, like the slowdown in that soundscape slash bridge section. The only thing that killed it for me, took it out of contention for favorite. The ending gets a bit too heavy-handed.
I, you know what? I think I like the ending better than the beginning, though, honestly, because I did not see that chorus coming at the
Uh huh.
towards the end. It came from out of nowhere. Did these guys ever get to do Lala?
I doubt it. They
Why
never
not?
made it on that. I don't. They were never that big.
But Lala had like 100 bands or
Well,
something,
that's
you know?
true. That's
They
true.
could have easily been like a second stage.
Yeah.
There were plenty of acts that were
Hmm.
doing the second stage that, especially like in 92, 93.
There was definitely. I mean, we're proof of it. There was definitely an audience for them.
Yeah.
They could have broken. I mean, broken big, gone big.
Yeah.
Um, I just wonder where the failure point was.
I mean, I'm listening to this, I was thinking, wow, imagine if we'd focused on New Jersey rather than Seattle as like the scene, these
Oh God,
guys,
Smithereens.
Smithereens, Dramarama,
Well, to be fair, Dramarama fucked off to L.A. after like their first album.
true, but I mean, it still could have been, that could have been the scene,
Yeah.
except I think everyone was too tired of it, with
Hmm.
Bon Jovi and
Well,
Springsteen.
that's the thing is we
They
came
did
out
it
of
to
the '80s,
death.
and yeah, between those two, those of us in Jersey didn't want to hear about Jersey music anymore. But even though
Yeah.
people talk about Springsteen or Bon Jovi as being the representative of Jersey for our generation, for me it was the bands we just mentioned.
I mean, think about it. Bon Jovi named like one of the shittiest
Mhm.
albums after the
I mean,
States.
to be fair, in my teens I did enjoy 7800 Fahrenheit.
Right. But I mean, that New
I
Jersey
grew out of
album
it.
and I'll Be There for You and
Uh huh.
stuff and Born to Be My Baby.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Holy shit, that was bad. Like, thanks for naming the state after it though, you know?
I think I was a junior in high school when I started my quote unquote hippie phase, my classic rock era, and kind of got over Bon Jovi and a lot of the
Yeah.
hair metal stuff. So yeah, I was young when I was into that, and so, I mean, and I've said before, we've reviewed hair metal. I still like some of it, not Bon Jovi. Um,
No.
but yeah, this is what Jersey actually to me sounds like.
Yes.
And early Dramarama, even though they left.
Like I think I saw both of them. I never did get to see the Smithereens,
Mm,
unfortunately, but yeah,
yeah.
I think I did catch these guys, and man, I can't remember which place, if it was the fast lane
Uh,
or the pony, or
uh-huh.
it was a time where, the memory is very
Right.
hazy of it.
Smithereens are still touring with other singers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not the
Yeah,
same
not
without
the same
Pat.
with that Pat, of course. Track 7, Dance for Your Life. Great groove on this one, great bass tone. Like that crystalline guitar tone on the left. Great vocal melody. I think the synths get a little too loud in the pre chorus, kind of take over a bit.
Definitely.
Um, Great solo after the first chorus. Those synth stabs again, very 80s. This is the one
I
that,
don't
yeah,
understand why they were so 80s obsessed, still.
someone just should have turned down the keyboard player a little bit. I don't mean down like
Yeah.
Jason Newsted style. I mean just down a little bit. Make him fit into the
Jason,
track a little
Jason
bit
Newsted.
more.
But this one, I mean, this is a lot like Yes and Changes or Duran
Yeah,
Duran,
yeah,
which is probably why they didn't get the chance at Lollapalooza.
maybe.
It's, it's probably why. I mean, Seattle, they were being a lot more radical and pushing away from the 80s sound, whereas these guys were really still in it.
That's why we focused on Seattle. It was a
Yeah.
palate cleanser.
Yes, it
Yeah.
definitely was.
As much as I may rib Nirvana, and again, I've come around a little bit, but I don't think they're as good as most people do. But I have developed an appreciation. People say they remember when Kurt died. I don't where they were when Kurt died. I don't remember where I was when I found out that Kurt died. But
I was driving on my way to WOCC to do my Sunday shift. I was
but
just like, wait,
I do remember this where I was the first time I heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit." I clearly remember that because
that I don't remember.
that was like, wait, what?
It was part of the hazy thing, maybe.
Uh, I
But
was sober
we were
at the time,
listening.
so
I was listening to a lot of, stuff that sounded a
oh,
lot
just
like
true,
that.
true. I was coming out of classic rock and hair metal. You were more into the punk alternative thing
Yeah.
before college, yeah. So for me, it was this amazing palate cleanser, and just again, I didn't have the punk background at the time, so I would put it on that song. Is why Seattle took over. And I think a lot of that is Grohl. He is the master of AOR or of arena rock, so to more to the point. Um,
I mean, I think though you had Soundgarden and you had Alice
oh yeah,
before that were kind of that they weren't as big.
right. But I mean, I like the others more than I do Nirvana generally. But Nirvana was they started the charge.
And you
They were
have some
first out of the gate.
millennials. You have millennials that are like, how did this Pearl Jam thingy, why was that even a thing?
But I also know of millennials who worship Cobain as much as some Gen Xers do.
Yeah, yeah.
So uh, back to the
Maybe
album.
more so.
Yeah. Back to the album. Track 8, Death of the Party RSVP, or as it's called on the new release, just Death RSVP. Um, it's a slowed down, musically speaking, a slowed down, trippy version of Death of the Party, with the only lyrics being, Your best laid plans now rest in peace, and it got a Davida honey. And then our best laid plans now rest in peace, and it got a Davida honey. And then it's the Death of the Party, baby, which is a direct quote from Death of the Party. And there's some nice Gilmore leads.
Yeah.
Um,
And like they even give like a writing credit, I think, to
to the guy from
the
Vita
Iron
who wrote that.
Butterfly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the guy who wrote Inagata Vita. Um, yeah, I could have missed it. I could have skipped it.
Well,
Um,
right. Yeah, they could have worked that. Like, I don't think I would have caught that they were doing Indagata
oh,
Davida
I'm
the
saying I
first
could have
one
skipped
until
this
they did that.
track.
Right. It kind of reveals the magic trick of the first one, and it's
Oh,
kind
I
of
don't know if they really reference musically. I don't hear Inagata Vita. I'll have to take another listen.
it. They're kind. I mean, like I
It's
said,
the
I
death
wouldn't have
of the
gotten it.
party, baby. In a got the Vita, honey. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Okay, I
I
get it.
wouldn't. I don't think I would have gotten it had they not revealed the magic trick
Yeah,
in
fair, fair.
this. You know,
Huh.
I think I think Strange and Wonderful was just as close to working for the weekend as this was to Nagata Navita.
Mm. And on I want to say it's Discogs or all music. One of the two. The guy from Iron Butterfly, Ingalls, is the only saw his last name. I don't know his first name. Got a writing credit on the other one as well, on the original Death of the Party.
Yeah.
And now I see it. Yeah, they did borrow the melody. Speaking of another one I can do without, track 9, What's Left of My Mind. This is the obligatory ballad. Um, those opening synths are just demoralizing on this album.
Yeah.
The groove is kind of nice, as is the vocal melody.
It's a solid chorus.
Yeah, I like the line, which is the chorus. The one thing that stays on my mind is what's left of my mind.
But yeah, this should have been more guitar oriented
It's
than
it's it's the
keyboard.
ballad. It's single number 2. It's or maybe 3 to show that you have a softer side.
And just you're right, the volume of the keyboards in the mix.
Yeah, which is a consistent issue on the album for me.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
keyboard player was just up too high. Um, Track 10, Your Little Finger, another one that was close to favorite.
I did not have rockabilly on my bingo
No,
card here.
I have cowpunk, but close enough.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, cowpunk works too.
Love that opening riff. Great cowpunk groove. Great vocal melody. Synths get a little too loud again in verse one. Nice harmonies in verse two, like the nice dramatic solo, or lead into the solo.
I
Solo
mean, this one
itself, I thought was too
definitely
short.
works, I think,
Yeah,
though. I
yeah.
mean, I think they're just better when they're heavier, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And track 11, finally, Watch You.
Yeah, this one I'm picking for my favorite.
Okay. Um,
Started with this industrial kind
uh
of
huh.
lilt to it.
Mining sounds at the beginning, which I don't understand. Love the opening guitars, nice swaggering groove, great bass tone. Um, this would make me realize that overall, I think the album needs a remaster.
Probably, yeah.
Um, I use YouTube Music, which doesn't have a lot of remastered versions.
Honestly, this track makes like a great bookend with Madison Avenue from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, but the difference is this has this builds to this
uh,
anthemic shout along crescendo at the
yeah.
end.
There's a great build throughout the entire song, and then there's
Yeah.
these gang vocals that build at the end. I was a bit surprised, given the year '92, by the line "I don't want to fuck tonight."
And he's kind of doing his Jim Morrison in
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
definitely. This is when the music's over
Uh-huh.
and it hits hard. I mean, it took a few listens for me to really figure out which I was going to pick for strongest, but then I was like, yeah, it's got to be this one.
He is one of these guys I wish I could sing like. I mean, I've got the
Of
register for it.
course. Yeah.
I just don't have that resonance at that low. Speaking of low, I love the low spoken part at the end. And it's basically about like, I don't want to fuck tonight. Let's just get ourselves off.
Yes. Right.
So, do you recommend it?
Ooh, I went on a journey with this one. I was kind of back and forth because you're expecting a 90s album, and I was like, just don't go into it expecting a 90s album. I think it has enough high points though
Yeah,
that I would recommend it.
yeah, I definitely recommend it. I love most of it, despite the occasional claims. Again, my only issue is the ballad and the volume of the keyboards in most cases. Um, it's just a damn shame they never got their break.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it just goes back to that
Mm-hmm.
they just didn't see what the 90s sound
Oh,
coming,
well,
at
this
this
was
point.
'92. Actually, it was
True
a
though.
year. It was a year after Teen Spirit. Oh yeah, that's why they were just after the.
Teen Spirit didn't really hit until around
It,
92, you know?
it was
I
released in
mean,
'91. I know that.
right.
Um,
It
maybe
took a
maybe
It
it
took a
did.
while
Okay,
for it to build, you know?
and so maybe they were just ahead of that watershed.
Yeah.
that
And
just
they were
diverted
and they were
everything to
just swimming in the
Seattle.
wrong
Yeah,
direction.
they just weren't quite going the right way with it.
This thing is that you expect like an older 80s band to
Mhm.
still have this 80s sound going into this.
Yeah,
So it is kind of like a, huh, okay.
and they formed in '81, so the '80s were when they developed their sound instead of
Yeah,
'92.
yeah. It was just too late, probably, is
Yeah,
really what it came down to. If this was out in like 87,
yeah. Oh, it would. Yeah, like that's about when Dramarama got started in terms of
right.
releasing. Like my first album
Hmm.
was like '86, '87. And it's not a million miles away from early Dramarama.
Oh, I thought you were gonna a million miles away. I thought it was the other band.
No, no, I'm saying they're kind of in the same wheelhouse as like early Dramarama.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what they were going for. It's just Dramarama was able to adjust, you
Well,
know,
they did the big leap to LA, as you said.
and vinyl was very '90s.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, that's it for Strange and Wonderful. Until next time, when we'll be reviewing "Desperate" by Divinals, their debut album. If all you know is "I Touch Myself," maybe "Proud Pleasure and Pain," bear in mind their two big hits. Those songs were not written by the band.
Of course.
They were written by Holly Knight and Mike Chapman, two very well-known hit makers. This one is entirely written by the band, except for an Easy Beats cover. Um, so it's a bit different. Until then, of course, always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life, there
There
you
you
are.
are.